All right. West Coast Wise, Lord Nasir, Shaquem. Yeah, we got a little question up front. We're going straight to the jugular right here. Is the black man knowledge or symbolic to knowledge? You know what I'm saying? That's shit, man. Hold on. I got sincere. Sincere got a Children's Day shirt on. Shout out. Shout out to absolutely.
Because I walk down the street always. I got a flag on, but fuck it. Just like I just got back with Eagle Regal. I sent him $600, right? I asked him to send me 100 flags. Eagle Regal is where Barry got.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I asked a guard from Jersey to go over there and make sure he's still open. Next thing you know, he go over there and give him $1,200. Right? That's for 100 flags. I sent him 6. He said, "Oh, I gotta fix the $1,200 dog." I said, "Fuck that $1,200 dog, motherfucker! I've been coming to you since 1978, motherfucker. I'll send you the rest of the money."
Hey.
He said, "Shaquem, look, you and your brother, okay, Shaquem that just came home from jail. He did 25 years from East New York.
Yeah.
Me and him had the original flags in 80.
Mm-hmm.
We had the original flags come from Eagle Regal in 78 through 80, 85 when he got busted. Because we always had the original flag. Najee, what's his name? Born Justice on them. They wind up fucking with Mike. Mike always send us an extra 100 flags. That's it, send the money back. Them niggas never send the money back. Take no money. You don't need forever. That's my motherfucking man right there. Is that my motherfucker? He's all money. And look, I gotta be all okay because they all love you. Come on, you ready to go?
What you
go?
God, say you got the bed you shit. Okay, a little bit of history there for you. But so yeah, West Coast Wallace, Lord Nasir, Shaquem. I got Sincere. Who else we got in it? Cern Love, SW.
Mike Paul. I heard y'all caught that kid, one kid.
So,
What the man was.
yeah.
Uh,
But while Prince, do I still have some products? I think I still got some of the ice cream, possibly. So Lord Nasir says, is the black man knowledge or symbolic to knowledge? Is that what the bill is about? While Prince said knowledge is symbolic to the black man, we got Encyclopedia Brown in here.
Peace.
Peace.
You know I ain't got no sense, man. You want some?
Yeah.
Take a sip of that. That's gorgeous. That's real beautiful. That's real beautiful. That's what I do.
Let me cut.
Oh, you don't need no cup. Take a sip.
But
Take a sip.
natural understanding.
Peace. Peace, almighty. Oh, you got another one?
So these are the only answers that we got here. Are these the only answers we're about to get for? Oh yeah, hold on. Let me put the question back up. I took it down to show the shirt right there for the Medina Children's Day. Shout out to that. That was a beautiful event right there. But here we go. Is the black man knowledge or only symbolic to knowledge? You know, which we're gonna give it a minute. We're gonna give it a minute for that anyway. And we're gonna get into this other topic first, right? In terms of building does not mean agreeing. Because, yeah,
You took these out.
large shot, I think.
I'm gonna fix them up. Put them up.
Yeah, that's why I've been waiting on somebody to get the funds.
And where you got them at?
I don't know. God Supreme and
Don Supreme ain't gonna do it. He asked me to put some up.
hey, God Supreme and Latif. That's who put them up.
No, but Don Supreme want me to do it now. But they was over here though. They took them down though. Some of the stuff is messed up though, so we need new frame.
Yeah. But so yeah, we're gonna wait to get some more answers for this right here. Is the black man knowledge or only symbolic to knowledge? Encyclopedia Brown says symbolic, natural understanding says symbolic. Right. Now we're about to get into something that y'all might see as semantics. It's possible. But I think it's a little fine line in here, right here, dealing with this topic. But getting to building does not mean agreeing. See, because if we building, right, and we agree on everything that we talking about, right? The only hold on for a second.
Oh, we get on the train again? Oh, no. Was that good?
Good.
That's gentleman's drink, right? That's for who and what it's called. Not just the fathers.
Yes. Quick episode. we had this. But see, getting back to what I was saying though, building does not mean agreeing. See, first of all, because if we speaking and all we doing is agreeing on everything we saying, then how we adding on? Like we just come together, we say, yeah, you know, the black man is God. Yeah, that's peace, almighty. That's not really adding on. And see, debate, right, is a part of the parliamentary process. It's also a part of the scientific process. See, there's a lot of times where the reason, see, you have these people that come in, they have this utopian idea that anytime there's any hint of debate, then to them, that's a wasted conversation. But here's the thing, what do you have to talk about in place of that? Like, is the bullshit that you want to talk about the Knicks and the Nets, is that going to feed the babies? See, there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong when it frustrates you to have to show and prove what you're saying. See, it's something wrong when you say you can't question the lessons or you would be outcasted. Listen, if you don't question, then how are you really going to know? Did you ask yourself that question? See, that's what I'm saying. And then, you know, how do you deal with growth and development? And any signs that you got, right? Unless you could say you did it perfectly. Like, look, even Michael Jordan still practice. That means that is things that you can say, okay, look, there's more growth and development that I can do. See, when you say, okay, I've made my statement, and that's it. And what you're saying is that there's no more growth and development you could do, at least in that area. And see, a lot of times when people say, how come things is not getting accomplished? It's not because of the debate. It's because no one learns anything from the debate. See, see, it's difficult to be a leader amongst leaders. See, it's easy to be the leader amongst the class of kindergartners. You see, it's not as easy to be a leader amongst leaders. Because they're going to question. See, every listen. You actually, you know, let's go back to the science of how this nation was created. Like our very history, guy. On some level, you know, we just saw the film the other day where they presented a whole bunch of different theories or scenarios on how Allah may have left the mosque, but we know on some level is that he asked himself the question, what does this mean right here? This knowledge degree, what does it mean? What does it mean when it said he's a lying person and I'm not? So a lot of this stuff, man, listen, this is not utopia. See, the 12th degree is not love and right, it's love hella right. And see, if you get stuck in the hell, right? If you get caught up in the emotion, see, like when two people is debating, there's the information that they giving back and forth, right? And then there's the people that's caught up in the emotion. See, if that's the case, then you're not a scientist and you need to fall back. Some people need to understand that, look, water's got to seep its level, and you don't have the wisdom to be a part of certain things. You don't have the wisdom to deal with the parliamentary process or the scientific process. You see, the strange thing is that there's always a picking and choosing. There's always a picking and choosing, right? Of what we can kind of build on. And see, that's the part where to me it's like, all right, on some level, this is what I ask myself about that. Is it that I'm required to agree with you in order to speak to you? Like, is that what it is? I'm not allowed to disagree with you? Or is it me as an individual? Because, like I said, that's something that I've been observing recently. That no matter what a person is doing, if I say something about it, they're a victim. You automatically become the victim of an attack, no matter what you was doing. The minute I ask, can you show and prove that? No. And I'm saying if that's what's required, right? Then I'm just, how do we all got the same. First of all, let's cut to this chase right here. Let's cut to this chase right here, right? Does anybody know what we agree on? Because it's very specific. It's very specific. Somebody put in the comment box what we agree on. The teachings of Allah, lies to God. We agree that there is no God but the Son of Man. And listen, that's shaky. That's shaky. When we say that we agree that there is no God but the Son of Man, listen, that's shaky. Not everybody here calling 75% really agree with us on that. He started talking about other guys and did other things, up above and all this type of stuff. But see, the rest of it, we gotta work that out. In any given time and space, right? We agree that there is no God but the Son of Man. But in terms of whatever solutions that we have for day to day, whatever, how we applying this knowledge, all of that, we still got to work that out. Because see, everything else is constantly changing. That's the only thing that's not changing. Is you still got arm, leg on, supreme head to deal with whatever's the time, whatever's the space, you know what I'm saying? That, whatever's the different levels of oppression, all of these things is constantly changing. What you being educated about, what you being miseducated about, all that's changing. And how it's changing, why it's changing, what we should do about it changing. See, all of these is the things that, you got to have healthy, that's what building is. Because all of us have had different experiences. We all agree that there is no God but the Son of Man. But see, everybody ain't read all the books that Encyclopedia Brown read. We don't, West Coast wise, you live on the West Coast, I live on the East Coast. See, we was talking about that earlier today where look, the kind of, weather, the weather disasters or whatever is different out there than it is out here. See, that's the real science, man. Let me tell you something. It's, it's all fun and games when it's all fun and games. You see, it's, when we all come together, peace, y'all might be dealing with whatever you're dealing with, y'all having fun, everybody's getting along. And now it's when shit hits the fan. See, that's when you start learning who's who. See, because it's not just about the hell that y'all going through together, right? It's about the hell that's going to come, or the hell that y'all going through between each other. It's about the hell that y'all going to go through together. Now, when y'all reach that hell, and you don't really know who this dude is now because the only thing y'all ever did is agree it was only all fun and games. That's the reality. I have no idea where this kind of utopian society conversations, have come from. Where everybody's expected to agree, and if we debate in any way, see what you're saying is that the science of what we deal with is not important. See, some people, I'm telling you another thing, a lot of people that look at things like that, they never actually been in ciphers. They never been there when two brothers that is powerhouses of knowledge, right? They get into a debate. And when they get into the debate, they start dropping jewels, right? And because they debating, now they got to manifest they how Encyclopedia Brown said, now you got to source up. And see, if you just there, you there at that place, and now all of this starts coming out. So it's the same thing as when you see debates that Encyclopedia Brown, when they debate, a whole bunch of information comes out, a whole bunch of stuff that they was researching that may never come out in a regular conversation. But because now they got the source up, a whole bunch of things come out that you never would have known. See, I've been there. So it's different for me. It's when I see, it depends on who it is, of course. But when I see certain people, if I see them get into it, I go over there because we about to get some truth out here right now. Especially when the people is face to face. See, because a lot of people say stuff over there. A lot of people pull you to the side and say, yeah, all these brothers over here. You see, when people is face to face, that's when it's something different. Divine understanding, say it again. Conflict resolution. But see, look, one of the things about conflict resolution is your mentality of seeing this as a conflict from the jump. Like that wasn't that, this is something different that's developed in the culture of kinder, gentler people. And when you hear brothers saying that, God, we used to build for hours, you think we was building for hours about everything that people agree? We're I mean, don't get me wrong, we started off as children, but we're grown ass men. You think we're going to speak for hours and never disagree? So beware of that, man. Beware of that. That's a part of the science of neutrality. Because remember, when we speak about this stuff, we don't just speak about it in terms of to believe in it or whatever. We speak about it to get lessons of life. See, we don't study the science of mathematics just as a conceptual thing, right? We apply these laws, which is actually that's a great segue right here to the symbolic question here. Is the black man knowledge or only symbolic to knowledge? Is the black man knowledge or only symbolic to knowledge? Wise Prince says sometimes I disagree just to see if that person knows what they're talking about. We wouldn't do that. That's a little bit, but people would ask you if you were sure. Just to see what you would say. To see if you would say, yeah, I'm sure because X, Y, Z. just to see, yeah, can you show and prove, or are you just, especially because you got to remember, you know, we here, right? So there's some people that you come in and you just saying what you hear everybody else say. See, at the end of the day, man, without this building, you don't know who's who, man. You don't know who's who. You don't know who you got around you. And those is the most dangerous people. We see that from the history that those are the most dangerous people. But do you have any other people that's going to answer this before? Because see, now first of all, let me say where I'm at, right? And like I said, this can be seen as semantics. It could be. But see, I don't see myself as symbolic to anything. See, I'm in expression of the knowledge in this cipher. See, that's different from symbolic. See, because symbolic, you don't have to deal with the actual fact. See, symbolic, you could have a man with a dog head, right? And that could be God. Because it's just symbolic. See, even when you say the number one or the word KNOWLEDGE, that's not that principle. The number one has the birth record. That word has a birth record. Those is the expressions of that principle in that language. And through the science of mathematics, right, we can see how these things is like, because that's what you could do in mathematics. You can tell that is this a square and that is a square. You can tell that by mathematics, by measuring sides. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, that to me, first of all, that is the first. Let me put out there how I see it. You know, that the manifestation of something, right, is different than just being symbolic. Because see, here's the thing, right? People gave their life for this. That's not symbolic. If you have children that you've named, that's not symbolic. Now, you have to be symbolic to all that made up stuff. They see the mothership, yeah, that's got to be symbolic. Because you can't make that real. See, when something is practical, that means you can practice it. So, like the brother dropped a jewel on us, I never stopped using that. I'm not a follower of Elijah Muhammad. I'm a practitioner of Elijah's teachings. So, see, the stuff that's made up, you can't practice that. So, yeah, you got to be symbolic to walking on water. You got to be symbolic to moving the rock and coming out the stone and the angel talking to you in the thousand tabs. You gotta be symbolic to that shit. See, because now we got to go down the line. We got to go down the line. If you symbolic to knowledge, are you symbolically God? Do you have power, or do you have something that's symbolic to power? Because you got to be consistent, because we're talking about laws here. We're talking about laws here. We're talking about mathematics. Laws got to be consistent over a range of time and environments. Because see, when things get symbolic, see, look, you know, I was just observing this conversation when people were saying it, and I started realizing that's when you can make stuff up. Because it never has to deal with the actual fact. Like, for instance, look, let me tell you, listen, y'all been hearing me go in on this for a minute, right? This whole thing with the 24 scientists. And see, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand why people were saying that. But see, when you only dealing with symbolic, it could be that. See, let me tell you why that can only exist in the realm of symbolism, right? They claim it's 24 scientists, right? These 24 scientists is the 9 born from Medina and the 14 born, the 9 born from, I don't know why I always mix that up. The 9 born from Mecca and the 14 born from Medina, right? That makes 23, right? And then Allah is supposed to be the 24th scientist, right? And this, see, you know why that can only be symbolic? Because in actual fact, how can you have 24 founding scientists of this and justice is not included? I'll wait. I need an answer for that. That's not rhetorical. For anybody that walks around saying that, how do you have 24 founding scientists of this and justice is not on the list? Listen, El Rahim, it's other brothers too, man. You can't put no list like that and no have them type of brothers like that on it. It's symbolic though, God. That's what I was missing. So listen, pardon me, pardon me, you know what I'm saying? But listen, why didn't nobody tell me that this turned over to be symbolic? Because see, what I'm saying is this, I wouldn't do the things that I do, say. See, now that I know that shit is symbolic, now I know why a lot of times I look around and I'm the only person in the whip. Because to everybody else, it's symbolic. So if it's symbolic, right, there's no actual application of it. We just go through the symbolism and the rituals of it, right? Now building is a ritual. This just symbolic shit. This some symbolic shit that we do, and then we say we teaching the babies, man, and we saving the world. If you saying you walking around, you telling people his magical powers, see, you be thinking that, and listen, the people around you be thinking that. And you might even get caught up in it. See, listen, it's no end of stories. There's no end of stories that look, we all listen. you know, you got man walk through the wall, man. If you got make a butterfly right now. If you got make a fish. You said if knowledge is an abstract noun, how can a person be that if not symbolic? Because even what you're saying, right, in terms of you took about knowledge in terms of strictly a body of facts, right? This is abstract. It doesn't, you know, the more knowledge you gain, your head doesn't get bigger. Well, symbolically, it can get bigger, symbolically, right? But this, even that, what you talking about, that those facts is an expression of knowledge. It's an expression of that principle in the abstract world of thinking. You see what I'm saying? Just like wisdom in the abstract world of thinking is good judgment. And we just having a conversation and we going over this information right here. Wisdom is just a good judgment. You know, understanding all of these things, you know, when we talking conversationally, but even those stages of the conversation is just expressions of those principles in that world of conversation. See what I'm saying? Because in other things that we would be doing, right? If we was building a house and somebody was talking about, you know, the history of shipbuilding, we would say, okay, this what you saying that don't got nothing to do with this. That's not the foundation of this. It's kind of like with DNA. Like there's the abstract part that you could write on a chalkboard and you could say this haplogroup, that haplogroup, and all of that. But there's gotta be somebody's gotta put the puck in the net. You understand what I'm saying? for that to manifest and shit. You understand what I mean? There's the abstract part of it, but then there's me and my father and my sister look just alike. You wouldn't be, you know, there's no way you would see us three and not know we was related, you know, and that's separate than the ACTG. You know, it's matter of fact, it's not separate because they both expressions, right, of the same principles in a different world. One is an expression that you could put on a chalkboard, or you could put it in 23andMe, and the other one you got to put the puck in the net. You know, I was thinking about that the other day. That's how 120 is. You can say you love it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you can say hi to 120 every day when it passes you by. You can smile at 120, 120 can smile at you. But you gotta, Peter, if you don't handle your business with 120, you're gonna fuck around, see 120 with the stomach bumps. And when that happens, so yeah, I had those two kind of, you know, topics on my mind because, you know, I was looking, you know how I got caught up? I was watching the Law School of Mega Channel. You know about Infinite Channel. Infinite Channel is You know, the law school of mega chance is kind of a free for all, if you ask me. And there was an issue over there, right? There was an issue over there. Look, see, and here's the thing. And this is what I'm talking about. Look, how I learned this, it wasn't, that's what it was. Somebody said something, right? And I disagreed with what they said. And that's how I got from Wise Jamel and Dumont. I had to have my coat pulled to the science, right? Of the difference between mathematical principle and living mathematics. You know, so they was having a conversation about, is wisdom secondary? And, you know, see, you know why in math you got to show your work? All right, hold on for a second. We're gonna deal with this real quick, but this is fast. I just said, should the lessons be updated? No. See, I'm telling you why I'm not going to update it, right? Because that is foul, bro. Like, see me, I look at it as those lessons. That's how I got to where I'm at. So why would I give you some other shit? See, what you doing at best, this is what you're doing. You giving whoever you give those lessons to another layer to have to understand to get to the meaning of those lessons. Because you already got to understand Elijah, the NOI, you understand me? You got to have some knowledge and wisdom about all the different stages in that everybody went through to get the knowledge and wisdom they put there to get the meaning out of what they're saying. So now they gotta learn now about you now too. Because why you put what you put there? See, now they gotta deal with different times. See, that's 1931 to 1934. So we can lock in on that right there and say, okay, when he said illiterate, we know what he meant there, even though now we know that it don't apply in the same way. But see, when you put your shit, now they got to analyze that time, then they got to analyze your time. And I'm saying, and that's at best. At worst, you just put your bullshit in there. Elijah Muhammad didn't need your help. So I ain't changing. I still got 12,478,118,400,000. I know what's right exact, but I ain't changing mine. Anybody tell you that? Don't give me your bullshit. I want the one you get. Yeah, what else would that work in? You know when it's time for you to update it? When you build on it. See, when you build on the population, if you want to add on to what the population is now, if you want to deal with the science of, yeah, that's the history and all, or because there's science to that too, about how I got from 17 million plus the 2 million Indians to whatever it is now, there's science to that. But just for you to change it now, that's what somebody else supposed to be quoting your bullshit now. But now we're going to go back to living mathematics and mathematical principle. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when we come into the knowledge, especially, I don't know when it came about, right? But in their first days, they learned living mathematics. And they knew the math, but what they learned and what they applied was living mathematics. At some point, we start getting the mathematical principle, right? Probably most likely as soon as it started getting written down. Hold on, I gotta get back to these questions, Watch. Yeah, right. Encyclopedia, man. You gotta update them when you go through your understanding. That's your time to be free. See, first you quote it, and then after you quote it, when it's time for you to go through your understanding, you put all your research. That's when it's your time. Because that's another thing. How much stuff you going when you update it, would you gonna put a whole bunch of new stuff? It's already hard enough to get people to learn the so many lessons we got. How much more pages? How much more pages you gonna add? What happened? Ah, man, he's gonna be hurt.
He ain't gonna come back, yo.
Yeah, you ready to tell him?
He ready, gee.
It is? All right.
He ready, going down.
Ah, man, hold on. Let me get my whistle in. 1 second. We gotta take a quick break here. Hold on, we gotta take a quick break. A 2-minute break right here. We'll be right back. Hear about that in a minute. So what happens if we find something in the lessons that's not correct? It's two different things. It's two different things with that. Now, similar things, that means that there's some other message there that he means. You understand what I'm saying? Like a lot of people they point to expired 1914. That's a good example, right? And they say that, well, the white man's still here. It's after 1914. But here's the thing. When Elijah Muhammad wrote that, it was already 1934. So clearly he meant something else. Right? He knew the white people were still around. He knew, America, Great Britain, all these people were still around. So I'm not going out there to stop raining. Man.
1, 2, 3,
Man, the battery got one.
Open up the front door, you get jumped in.
No, I'm not that Christ, man. I ain't walking on no water. You gotta wait till you gotta wait till
Okay, so don't forget. That door is open. All you gotta do
Yeah, I'll tell you before I leave.
is open up the front door. Let me tell you. Tell me enough. The door was open.
I know that.
He ain't nuts. He was gonna make that shit. He just gotta buy another thing.
Yeah, you just gotta jump it, man. So you said a lot of brothers always ask about the 29 million square miles of useful land, then go right to the 6 million for the colored man. They want more. I don't understand that. What's your name? So there's things in there like that. Let me think of something. Give me an example of something that is wrong, that's not correct. But getting back to the science of living mathematics and mathematical principle. Now, see, when we get to supreme mathematics, it's written down on paper, right? We get 10 principles, right? The 35th and 36 degrees. Were they talking about the guy? I can't recall his name, but he was the first ambassador. I can't recall. He was some kind of preacher. I'm trying to recall what was the exact department that he was in. He was actually the second person in that department. The first guy never went to Africa. The knowledge degree and they wanted 40. That don't got to do with 29 million square miles. But in terms of, was he the first person? Was he the first person that knew about over there? But we can see right now. We can see right now from the Africans that's here that they didn't know we was over here. Some of them still right now they don't know what we doing over here. Some of them right now still don't know what we doing over here. But see, I keep skipping off. But see, when we get the mathematical principle, right, we get 10 elements, right? You get 10 principles of mathematics. But see, living mathematics is one thing. Like you can't see if something is one thing, right? Then as soon as you start separating, right, you got 599 years to go. See, as soon as you say these people are black, these people are brown, these people are tall, these people are short, as soon as you start, that's the first thing that happened when they got to the island. You got categorized. See, inside the black man body is one body. So living mathematics is one thing. There's no such thing as knowledge without wisdom in living mathematics. There's no such thing as wisdom without understanding in living mathematics. See, in living mathematics, this is the first and maybe the most clear distinction, right? In living mathematics, there's no cipher. Because cipher is a person, place, a thing, right? And you can't have a person, place, a thing before you have knowledge. See, after born, you don't, in mathematical principle, right? After born, then it's cipher. But in living mathematics, after born, then your knowledge adds a cipher to show that it's complete. It went to born. And see, no element of that cipher, right? Going once this knowledge is born and that knowledge adds that cipher, see no element of that, you can't take it out. You can't diminish or increase the significance of no element of that. You see what I'm saying? Because if the cipher is complete, then everything there was just stages that that idea went through in order to become a reality. The stage may have been short, it may have been long. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning like, look, you might, some people, you can read a book 1,000 pages, right? You can read War and Peace, but will it give you the same understanding about life that 120 lessons is? And that's just a couple of papers. Yeah, leave it up so I can do that. Nah, close that. Just leave it. Don't like it. Yeah, what you doing, man? We just came back from. Yeah, you do that. What you doing, man? Right. So when it says our own people did not know we were over here until 60 years ago, right? That's the particular event that he's talking about. Meaning, like the same thing exists when he's talking about the in the 136, right? Where those events that he's talking about with John Hart and Hawkins is not the beginning of the whole slave trade. You know what I mean? But that particular event, he's marking that as the importance in terms of us being here in America, him being from Alabama to Detroit. You said there's a mistake in the knowledge degree in 140. Oh, you're talking about the 900 years you're talking about. You said, how do I see the International Postal Service being founded in 1874? Well, I mean, that could be a thing, but not a lot of people, not a lot of people, I don't know how, if the masses, because you got to remember, if you're saying that it's the post office that got us to know them, right? How many of us is literate over here in 1874? And how many of them is literate over there in 1874? And if they are literate, how many of them is speaking English? And how many of us are speaking Mandingo and Wolof and, et cetera, et cetera? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that, I mean, I'm sure there was some. You know what I'm saying? You said, should we fix it to 9,980? Nah, see, I kind of like it like that. You know why I like it like that? Because when you teach somebody and they come back and say, yo, how come this? I know you're paying attention. So me personally, I wouldn't change it. You know, there's a lot of different things that I've heard over the years, you know what I'm saying, that it was Bernstein, the secretary, that, as she transcribed it, it was a typo, some people say, Now I can't recall, is it the Theology of Time? There's another Elijah Muhammad book where it has the 9,900, but it's different. I think by the time the book is written, I think it's 9,954. But the 900 years I'm saying is in it. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I wouldn't change it. See, like I said, all of that, that's your understanding. Elijah said what he said. If you want to say what you say what you say. You got it. Peace. Said during that time, both sides were conquered. People were speaking English over there. I say it signifies knowledge traveling internationally at a faster rate. Because remember, mail was the main way. 1874, I don't think a lot of them was literate. Because remember, in 1874, the level of the colonialism wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the re-education efforts, of course, each region got their own particular history. You know what I'm saying? But there's there's definitely things happening. You know what I'm saying? You got what was that boat where the people got caught and then they sued them and they got sent back? For the story of why all it took was one person to know and come. I mean, well, yeah, that's his story. But see, that's what I'm saying. They're not just talking about one person though, because like I said, there's people that's going back and forth. And plus, which fire are you talking about? You're talking about the fire that we met last week from Oakland? So you talking about far from Mecca or far from Oakland? See, we got I don't know if Encyclopedia Brown is still in the room, but I know, see, even what's the guy's name? Paul Cuffey, I think by 1874, he already was going back and forth. Yeah, the Amistad, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that shit. So that's what I'm saying. It was people, it was definitely individuals that had went back and told them, you know what I'm saying, uh, the situation. So you're saying not not the part that was watching Good Times. That was a bug to me, man. Far was watching TV in the 80s. Had to be 100 and something. So I think it's weird Martin Delaney and Paul Cuffey went to Africans. The Africans knew we were here. But hey, look, everybody was playing stupid though. They was acting like they didn't know. Yeah, Far, he made himself, who knows what happens, man. No, I said that there was a guy named Paul Cuffey. In fact, see a lot of just returned. He's a Cuffey. He's a Cuffey. I seen him have conversations with other Cuffeys. Apparently, there's a woman. Well, I don't. She. I don't know if she's because he said that she was like his aunt, but she had a book where it was like a picture book. And if you was a Cuffy, you went to this place in Long Island, they took a picture of you and put you in the book. And I seen him have conversations with people where he talked about the book and shit. It was like, yo, and then they kind of knew who each other was. But anyway, he was a Cuffy. See, he was going back and forth to Africa. And he was actually having conversations with them, telling them, like, yo, look, we got to work together. The stuff that y'all doing, y'all, this is, what this is, the product of this is all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So, there was people that was going back and forth before 1874. You know what I'm saying? Or, like I was saying, these different ships, where they the Amistad, where they had the mutiny, and then those people were sent back to Africa. So they knew what was going on. There was people that knew before that. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, what was Elijah talking about? You see what I'm saying? See, because look, it's possible Elijah didn't know about Paul Cuffey. See, the Cuffey family is, and if you're from New York, you probably know a Cuffey. Old Dirty's a Cuffey. Papa Woo's a Cuffey. So if you're not from New York, you know a couple Cuffeys. But that was what I was talking about when I was saying going back and forth before 1874. Did I see the documentary where they were talking about Elijah's return and some FOI tried to imply there was an older man that was there at the funeral and they asked him why he was there and he said, I have more right to be here than you implying that he was fired. Nah, I don't know too much of the NOI. But that's listen. Uh Muhammad Ali's wife said, Fard used to come to the crib. So Master Fard came back in the person of Drake. Oh man, how you gonna Drake? Drake is Jewish, man. Drake, Islam. Yes. Drake did know Islam. Encyclopedia Brown said in 1750 in Dahomey, they sent 5 missionaries to come to the Americas to negotiate the slave trade. Oh, the slave trade. Yeah. It was all different deals, some people, that's another thing about the slave trade is that the focus is on the countries, right, where they kind of administered slavery. But you had some people that they just was selling. And as the market moved from here to there, then they'll go over there and sell some slaves over there. See, they fucked it up. Well, they didn't fuck it up, but see, it got fucked up when the Portuguese and the Dutch got fucked up, and then when the British and the French took over India, and then it started being too much. It's too much sources. See what I'm saying? Like they got cotton in India too and shit, and now you don't gotta buy it. You don't gotta go through these slave master cats no more, right? You got these cats already, so it started messing up the market. So when you hear them saying that, they didn't make money off of slavery, that's bullshit. Anybody did nothing for no hundreds of years ain't made no money. That's how. Markets got fucked up because it started being so many other places that they could get these goods. Have you ever read the Ethiopian Manifesto by Andrew Young in the early 1800s said that we was going to have a savior who was white and black to take the government? No, but I know that that's common in that era, from the 1800s, from into the early 1900s, that idea that a person that's mixed kind of represents the best of both worlds. I noticed it was, mostly black people that had that kind of idea, but it sounds about right for that era. Said Fard is an atheist. Fard wasn't teaching theology. In fact, the famous picture of him with the book proves that many scientists during that time took similar pictures. Well, look, and we famous for that on this channel, right? My guy's logic. You said white mom, black dad, or black mom, white dad. Well, of course, this is going to be more of a black dad, white mom kind of thing because the white dads are not claiming this. The white dads, they're not claiming they're mixed children. So, you know, but, yeah, so, Elijah's my guy. You understand what I mean? So I know what Elijah taught, and look, he said, look, he said, Far told him that, full stop. You know what I'm saying? But, just in terms of, well, what do you mean by theology? Because see, that's one thing now with all these religious words, right? Like, see, you got like the word spirit, right? It's put in different, you got spirit, that's like respirate, right? It's supposed to mean breath. But it's been given all these other meanings of, there's a transparent being floating in the house and shit. Spirit. Translucent. See what I'm saying? So then when you say that, right, it has a certain, see, like when we say Quran, we don't mean the holy book of the Middle Eastern. So when you say theology, that is the study of God. That's what the word means. You see what I'm saying? So, depending on, if you're giving the word a certain meaning, then maybe, but I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, that is, he taught theology. Yeah, I have been noticing that they keep putting this stuff in the news about aliens. But see, a lot of things I'm telling you right now, I've stopped paying attention to the news. Like I kind of stay abreast of what's going on, but anything that they it's like, bro, is 25,000 other shoes to drop. Like nothing they say, like they be like, yo, this is going on in Ukraine. I bet, yo, give it 2 months and let's see what the news say then, because you know Did, did you know Encyclopedia Brown that there was a battle between the baby planes and the United States Air Force in 1942? It's called the Battle of Los Angeles. You can Google it. It goes right here. Let me see if they have any okay, here we go. Let's look at it. This is how we do that. Hold on. We are going to pull this here up. It's going up. Wait. Here we go. You ready?
Here's what I do to get back to 6 figures a year in 4 steps. So step 1.
February 25th, 1942. Los Angeles, California. Following the Japanese sneak attack on Pearl Harbor, the city is gripped by fear that Los Angeles could be next. Suddenly, just after 3 a.m., powerful arc lamps light up the night sky, and the city erupts with the sound of anti-aircraft guns. It seems everyone's worst fears have come true.
The Battle of LA took place about 3 months after Pearl Harbor. So many people thought that this was some sort of Japanese attack.
There was an object that was tracked on radar, and it was then seen visually. And then the U.S. military fired 1,430 rounds of artillery. Lots of ground witnesses, lots of military witnesses. There were witnesses who said there were more than one of these objects.
We have to put ourselves in that time frame to really understand the mindset. This is World War II, and there's all these fears, and people were on edge.
But what makes the event so strange is that the Army's anti-aircraft barrage is unable to bring down any flying objects.
Clearly, there were no Japanese planes in the air. There were no aircraft carriers in the area. And yet, this was a real thing.
Now hold on. I got a question. Somebody look this up. Right? This said it happened February 25th, 1942, right? Okay. When did Elijah Muhammad and the NOI get locked up? I'm just telling you. I'm just somebody look that up. When did Elijah Muhammad and the NOI get locked up? Did you hear them say, listen, first they tracked the big object, then they noticed that it was me. See, look how that looks right there. Look how that's frozen. You telling me that's not baby planes right there? You telling me that these, hold on, let me get right here so you can see my mouse. All of these right here. What's that? What you got to say now, West Coast? What you got to say about that?
If this had been a conventional aircraft, I mean, logic suggests that it would have been shot down. So the fact that this object was seemingly impervious to this ground fire does raise the question, if this wasn't an aircraft, what was it?
Nobody seems to know, not even the military. And photos making front page news the following day only deepen the mystery. In Washington, D.C., President Franklin Roosevelt's Secretary of the Navy, Frank Knox, announces that the Battle of LA had been a false alarm, adding there were no planes in the sky over Los Angeles. But decades later, researchers discover incredible written evidence that the military misled the public. It appears that 8 days after the infamous LA night, Army Chief of Staff George Marshall writes to President Roosevelt to report shocking news. This headquarters has come to the determination that the mystery airplanes are in fact not earthly, and according to secret intelligence sources, they are in all probability of interplanetary origin.
That particular memo from Marshall to President Roosevelt has been disputed ever since it appeared. But according to these documents, there were multiple events over LA and over by San Bernardino where objects were retrieved that were not from our civilization.
The Roosevelt administration chose to keep things a secret. Many feel
See how this tells you right there. Why would they keep all that a secret? Hold on, let me see something. Look for it doesn't say the day here, but hold on, let's look at this tab. See, I'm like Encyclopedia Brown. I'm like Encyclopedia Brown at night with my tabs. So I don't know if y'all can blow this up. You see, it says right here. It says right here. This is from the National Archives, archives.gov, archives.gov. This is African American heritage. This is their little article here they have on Elijah Muhammad. So it says here, we're going to get to as the leader of the Nation of Islam, Muhammad dedicated himself towards expanding the organization by teaching against white supremacy. His teachings that white people were devils who were created specifically to oppress the black race quickly gained the attention of the United States government. In 1942, Muhammad was sentenced to 4 years in prison for preaching sedition and for avoiding the draft during World War II. How much more you need to know? How much more you need to know? How much more? Any questions? Baby planes had to dust them off. You heard that? 1,400 bombs. Couldn't touch the master. Can't touch the master. Just fill this baby up with energon. They hit warp speed on you chumps. You heard it here first. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. This is West Coast wise people. I'm not sure what they're doing out there. You can't set the video playing in the background like that there. You said something. This came up and the bomb dropped yesterday. Oh, you're talking about, the World War II you're talking about. Yeah, nah, ain't no sound on that. I don't know what they're saying. You can't. You see, I turn the sound up, they might say something. We just look at it, we just see them. Sometimes it's better like this. And you look like you're driving silence. You know what I'm saying? You see, this is what I mean. See, if I had this kind of look like this, then people would think I know what I'm talking about. There was a battle in the skies over Antarctica. You know the Earth is flat and the ice wars is where the mother plane fought. It's fought. That's why they don't want you to go there. Yeah, you know, I've been hearing some more stuff about the ice war recently. You know, why you see that's that bullshit right there. Why you got to say something like that, West Coast? You could have just left it. You could have just. You see what happens when you fuck around 5%, man? Atlanta brawl. What happened in Atlanta? The last I heard about was the something happened in Chicago when they ransacked the 7-Eleven. So, oh yeah, something happened on 14th Street. But let's see. Maybe we can find it over here. Who was it? Black kids? Tell you one thing, boy, the kids. Whoa. What the hell is this? Okay, hold on.
Big news. By donating now, you and a friend have a chance to meet Jill and me.
Chip in now.
Oh! You got to go through there. Oh, he's watching your ass, yo. Oh, this is wild. Whoa.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
Is that what you talking about? Who is it? Is that the bro you was talking about? Oh, that's not the. Wait, where's the rest of it? Let me see. That's a minute 30. This is Roy Sheen. Okay, this is 4 minutes right here.
Tonight, Montgomery, Alabama's mayor reacting to a fight between two groups on the city's riverfront, saying it never should have happened. Videos of the incident went viral. The person recording this one telling NBC News it started because a pontoon boat was blocking the spot where the riverboat she was on needed to dock. She says the crewmen from her boat disembarked, and you see the fight starting right there. People just running over and joining. Then it just turned into this massive all-out brawl, groups punching, shoving, kicking. At one point, someone even ends up in the water. The mayor says they are now investigating the incident.
Oh, yeah, started
something that we take seriously, deliberately, as with any matter that happens.
They made up all that. Yes, that's
now investigating the incident. Over and joining, then it just turned into this massive all-out brawl, groups punching, shoving, kicking. At one point, someone even ends up in the water. The mayor says they are now investigating the incident.
Something that we take very seriously and deliberately, as with any matter that happens throughout our city regarding public safety. We are fully engaged, and we are doing all of our due diligence to find out exactly what took place.
Let's bring in Priscilla Thompson, who's been monitoring all the latest developments. Priscilla, when I saw this video over the weekend, I had to rewatch it because I couldn't wrap my brain up around what was actually happening. What do we know about what happened here and where this investigation stands? Yeah, Ellison, very shocking video. I'll start with the investigation. At this hour, officials say that they are reviewing video of this incident and that there could be more arrest warrants that are coming. But for now, we know that investigators have issued 4 arrest warrants so far, though no arrests have actually been made. But to your point about this video and what exactly happened, witnesses say that this riverboat cruise was trying to dock, that they had repeatedly asked the owner of that pontoon to move the boat. And after no one moved the boat, that was when a crewman got off of the riverboat and began to appear to untie the pontoon. Very quickly, witnesses say the folks who that pontoon belonged to came down. There were several minutes of a very heated conversation. And then you see in that video a man shove the worker that was trying to help, and chaos ensues within seconds of that happening. I want to play a little bit of what one of the witnesses on that riverboat described in terms of how all of this unfolded. Take a listen.
We were all on the boat.
Unfolded. Take a listen.
Brush down and everything.
We were all on the boat. And
on seconds of that happening, I want to play a little bit of what one of the witnesses on that riverboat described in terms of how all of this unfolded. Take a listen.
We were all on the boat and witnessed.
Yo, hold up. Wait. Oh, this means you taking off that side. Hold up, but that is crazy right there. Let's see. There you go. Hold up. Let's get to the real broad. Let's. All right, we're about to. This is. Have you seen that? Yeah, that was his. This. And so, is this like is this like like this is is this like what's the word? Like this is the newest thing in the news right here? Is this like this is what you call it? Is this, are we having like a George Floyd moment over this? Oh, look at that jumping. See, look, I'm gonna tell you this is a classic case right here. I'm gonna tell you this is a classic case right here. See, sometimes you gotta know people, man. See, this is shit right here. This nigga just jumped in the water. See, this is the case right here, right? Where, like, see, in New York, once upon a time, it was like white people, they knew black people. Like, you know, we know these people. Like, it's certain things that, you know, like, you know, don't like, look, they just don't look them in the face. Don't make eye contact. See, this is one of the cases where these people, you know, they took this to Riviera. Yeah, see, Montgomery, Alabama. See, down where the riverboat is, see, they wasn't used to black people, or they would have not tried none of this. I can tell the way this is shaping up. This brother, they jumped into waters. Hey, listen, and here's the thing. I bet he don't even know, dude. You don't even see, this is what I'm saying. If you watching this and you non-black, this is, he don't even know, dude. See, this is that old school shit right here. Remember back in the days? A fight, a black and a white. The black don't win. We gonna jump in. See, these people right here, they was saying weird, man, how this works, man. But I already see it shaping up right now, man.
That's what swimming his ass over there. God damn. That boy finna help that man. Get up there, young boy. Get up there, young boy. Get up there, young boy. Shit, what's up?
Oh man. You can't.
Yeah.
Oh, that was to the I got chopped.
They bad. Look at them.
That was
They
to the
bad.
oh god. Oh, oh,
I got it.
you thought you
Woo!
Jimbo?
That what you get.
What the hell
That what
is
you
that,
get.
Jimbo?
That what you get. Oh, tie her ass up. Ooh, she whooping her ass. She finna put her in the water. In the water. In the water. Tie his ass up. Cause y'all were wrong.
Oh, he loaded the
Uh-huh. 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 You come. Uh-huh. Boop. 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 He ran. He jumped in the water. Yeah. Yeah. Get their ass. Oh, look at the bras. The bras jumping their ass. Cause y'all was wrong for jumping on that black man like that, baby. Okay, I thought we're
Listen, that's gonna hurt tomorrow. Yo, how dumb is that? Yo, now that was wild for the night, G. You know what I'm saying? I bet they didn't think that was gonna happen, boy. Oh man. That would be, yo, man. Yeah, look, I'm about to watch it about another 35 times myself, man. Yo, that was some moments right there, man. Oh man, he started whacking with the chair. Like, oh man, that's gonna hurt tomorrow, boy. Look, he took a lick and he kept on taking right there. Look, he didn't go down. You gotta give him that, man. Oh man. So we did. Hold up, I gotta look at what's the news coverage on this. What they saying? What is what's let me see. What they protesting at? Ain't got no protest yet. Yo, that right there is crazy, yo. Oh, he did. Listen, I saw that when he threw the hat in the air. It was that was the father. Oh yeah, it's on. Yeah, as soon as he threw the hat in the air, look the way he did it. Like look, he did that. Like he was waiting. You know, I don't know if people was aggravating him today or a week or whatever, but he did do that. Like, oh, here we go. You know, look, see, like normally, you know, people just argue with me and I can't do nothing. But see, now you don't put your hands on me. Oh, forget this uniform. But now the bat signal, I think the 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 I think it's only because look, this is Montgomery, Alabama. So I don't know that they necessarily needed a bat signal there. You understand what I mean? Like it's, you know, like see, like, you know, New York was like that. It was, you know, it was like, you know, you gotta know these people. You know, see now it's more, you know, all politically correct and you know, you have all these things. You know what I've been watching on the news is the Florida thing. They, you know, I'm missing all the excitement. I'm watching boring stuff with about policy decisions and stuff. You know, I don't know if y'all heard, but in Florida, they saying that the governor passed some kind of law where they was going to start arresting illegal immigrants, and then they said that nobody started showing up, but nobody was showing up for work for all of these different jobs. You know what I'm saying? And you know, people had different. Everybody was like, you know, well, you know, this is why everybody should be with immigration. You know, and you know, these jobs, black people don't want to do these jobs. And, you know, I call bullshit on it. You know, because see, what I hear you saying is that the economy of Florida cannot run without exploiting people. That all of this prosperity that they're talking about in Florida is because it's a haven for businesses that want to exploit people. So that was, you know, but this is much more exciting right here. I don't know how I missed this right here. You know, and I have no idea how I missed that. Look, that was a lovely event right there. Look, and they didn't show nobody no mercy. That's listen, they didn't show no mercy. Because people came up from Selma. Trump was there endorsing mayoral candidate, majority of the fighters were co-workers. So you saying that on each side, or all these people know each other from the job? You saying they this, what is that? Like they, but to me, like I said, it just don't seem like in Selma, Alabama, that it would take much more than what happened to set that off. And then on top of that, we're not hearing what's being said. You know what I'm saying? When they kicking his ass, they probably nigger, get your nigger ass off this here, nigger. Nigger. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's what. Look, I don't know. That's what they say. I don't know. That's what they say. But what I'm saying, and that would easily get something like this going. So you're saying that these people, so all of these people work together. So man, so it's going to be some shit there tomorrow at work. The union got to get involved with this now. That's we gotta bring that. We gotta play that in the background. See, look, you see this brother up here in the rain. Left out. Just in the water. That's what I'm saying. Listen, one by one. Look, ain't no another brother just red. Listen. Hold on, let me make a screen thing. Y'all can see what I see. Look, one by one, people turn around and go, what's going on over there? Now, hold on. Because listen, whoever helped security fight? We ever heard that? See, that's what I'm saying. This is not being seen as a security. This is stuff. This is ingrained in the people right here. Somebody else.
Get up there, young boy. Get up there, young boy. Get up there, young boy. Shit, what's up? I was up a minute ago. Yeah. Woo! 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 They mad. Look at them. They mad. Woo! Beat their ass. Woo!
Fire him up, so
Oh my God. Woo! That what you get.
Oh man.
That what you get. That what you get. Oh.
See, I'm gonna say something about these people too, say. I'm saying shit with these white people. I'm saying shit with these white people. They ain't never been drunk before, so they don't know how to come up. Ah man, listen. I got to find a big screen of this, man. I got to find a big screen of this. What you said? Yeah, it was some of that. It was great. Absolutely. Hey, listen, this was years. This was years of frustration. This this was years of frustration, man. Listen, niggas got their ass kicked for that promotion, but can't get at the job. Yeah, listen. They take a couple blows from Malcolm X. Hey, look, this should make it happen. Ah man, hold on. Let's get back to the film. Let's get. Oh man.
She whooping her ass. She better put her in the wall.
Oh, man.
In the wall. In the wall. Ass up. Cause y'all were wrong.
Oh man, that dude right there. Oh man, that's the thing.
Cause y'all were wrong.
That's the anger right there. That's the nuts.
You come.
Listen. Oh, did you see the check look right there, sir? Look at the check look. Don't run up on me like that when we brother.
He jumped in the wall.
You gotta run up on the goddamn like this.
He ran and jumped in the wall.
Let me tell you, see what I'm saying? See when you black. See when you black, you know how to break up a fight. See when you black, you know that's it. That's not how you do that. Oh man, you said this right. This some Dave Chappelle shit, son. This is Dave Chappelle shit right here. Oh man.
Yeah. Get their ass. Oh, look at the bras. The bras jumping their ass. Cause y'all were wrong for jumping on that black man like that, baby. Okay, I thought was
You saw that? He tried to stick up on the bird. And I'll tell you something. These two old timers too right here. These two brothers right here. These two brothers right here. They ain't no string chickens. But listen, they ain't old either. Oh, that's my favorite part right there. Yeah. Hold on. Does anybody remember Boys in the Hood when the cat walked past with the Easy-E t-shirt on and shit, and they jumped him and shit? Yo, so when they starving the lady right there on the ground, this shit looks just like that scene, bro. It's not for real. Yeah, yeah. It was, yeah. I'm telling you, that right there, that last blow right there, that was for that girl. What's her name? The girl that was on the bus. The real girl, not Rosa Parks. That blow to the head, that was for that. So that listen, listen, he was all the way well, man. Listen. That right there said that. Listen, that was for what's that girl's name? They not playing with these people at all.
Oh my God! You going to jail?
Hey, look how he doing it. Look, he did like, yeah, that's it. Like, hey, look, he's going to jail gladly right now. Like, I've been waiting to do that for 57 years. Yo, bro, that is fucking hilarious, man. Woo! Hey, listen. That was the name, Ruby Bridges. Yeah, that was serious right there. Yeah, what's your name? See, when I get to the crib, I definitely gotta look. I gotta look. What's that brother's name? He got a podcast, kind of chubby brother. He got it's like his set is like kind of a news thing. What is the name of his? He got like a southern accent, and I'm sure. Ruby was the little girl that was escorted to the school. The one where the white girls was behind her yelling, or because the first girl that got escorted to school was Brown. But yeah, I'm sure that brother has. I'm sure he has some coverage about this that is interesting because these is his. Oh yeah, no, that's Brown. I can't recall what her first name is. Yeah, Willie D. He covers stuff like this too. He probably got something on this. Nah, this brother's name. He always just comes up in my what's the name? He always just comes up in my I think it might be, hold on, let's try this. Back here, let's see that. Let me see. I'm trying to look for the guy. Oh, well, actually, looking for the other guy. Let's see what Willie D has to say.
Get away with a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me see what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. Going straight in. Stephen A. Smith. Y'all know anytime I mention Stephen A. Smith's name, it's bad news. He's just one of those dudes like the character in Charlie Brown who would just walk around and was always stinky. People just move around when he come around because he always came with a stench. Stephen A. Smith is hosting a basketball camp that will cost kids a minimum of $2,899 to attend. And he has the nerve to be our...
Does that? See? Oh. I hit the wrong what's now. Like, what the hell is Stephen A. Smith? What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? Montgomery's Riverfront Park in Alabama was the scene of a massacre. No one got killed, but there were a few death blows issued. See, what had happened is some white folks thought it'd be fitting to jump a black man. What they did not anticipate was that black man getting help from several other black people who quickly restored order. I ain't got no problem with that. Now, fam, let me say this. I seek peace. I really do. I don't believe any of us can live mentally healthy lives with all of this hatred and bigotry. It's just a really bad way to live. Having said that, if they bring it, I'm going to give them everything they're looking for. That's right. I said it. You see, there is a certain segment of white society who like putting their hands on Black folks. They enjoy putting their hands on Black folks. Many of them enjoy killing Black folks. If they can get a free kill on a Black person, they will. This is why a lot of them join the police department. That's right. They love to get in positions of authority where they can have some authority over Black folks. This is why a lot of them will move to small towns or refuse to move away from small towns because they can control the population. They can control bodies. They get away with a whole lot of dirt. I don't even know how a Black person can live in a small town that's predominantly white. I don't even know how they do it. I wouldn't, because I know what that's about. So how did this all kick off? Well, it all started when the white folks was on a small pontoon and they pulled up to the dock and blocked the area that the riverboat is supposed to dock at. So the brother was just doing his job, letting them know, hey, you can't park there. They got mad, you know, that self-entitlement kicked in, that I'm white, you're Black, my country, you're a visitor. It kicked in. And they took exception to the brother exercising his authority. And they swung on him. Well, one started the argument first. He could tell he couldn't handle it. So the other one came in. What you talking about? How dare you talk back, boy? And started swinging on the brother. Brother started trying to handle his own, but then they all attacked him, you know, because that's how they do. Most of them, they won't even ever try to fight unless they have the numbers. They got to have numbers, they got to have a weapon, or they got to have size. That's typically the only time they will try to attack the Black. So they had numbers. So they went in on all of them. I mean, it's about a good 6 or 7 of them. 7 of them were jumping the brother. And then came the troops. Brothers started coming from like on the back part of the dock to help. One brother jumped off the riverboat and swam to the action. You could hear this woman in the background saying, yo.
But look, this is the brother right here. This is the brother right here. Philip Scott. He got a couple of channels I see now, but this is one of them. On this channel, I don't see anything so far about anything so far about that. It's against other channels. See if he has any coverage of this. And when did this happen? And so far, it doesn't look like he doesn't have it on his biggest channel over here. covered. Nah, so far it doesn't look like he's spoken on it, but we'll check it out. But you know, he's a little more serious though. You know what I'm saying? And the stuff that he covers, you know, a little more political applications that he does on his channel. So, you know, but I'm fairly sure he's gonna cover this. This is definitely up his alley right there. You know what I'm saying? But so y'all know how we do. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and start winding this one down. You know what I'm saying? If we got any questions, you know, we went pretty wide ranging today. You know, we started off with you know, the science of building, you know, and just realizing that, you know, building is, you know, when you come into Cypher and y'all building, that's a forum for ideas. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you gotta understand that, you know, all of those ideas, it's not gonna be 100% in agreement. You know what I'm saying? You know, especially at the start in the science of building is actually the science of, you know, y'all bringing these ideas together. See, then you building. If you just say something and then I disagree with it, we didn't build. I disagree with you. You know what I'm saying? You know, debate is a part of the parliamentary process. It's a part of the scientific process. You know, to you know, being able to question ideas. You know, even you know, question facts. Because you got to be able to show and prove it. If not, then you just everything is ritual. Everything is ritual. You know, the black man being symbolic to knowledge. Look, you know, I don't see it that way. You know, the way I see it is, you know, I'm an expression of knowledge in this cipher. It's like the sun is an expression of knowledge in that cipher. You understand what I mean? See, you know, these mathematics exist as ideas, right? But you know, like Dumont used to say, you got to know how to make these mathematics walk and talk. You know, and you know, the paper is not going to get up and walk and talk. The ink is not going to get up and walk and talk. You know, but those principles, when they're applied, see, I say knowledge is symbolic to all the stuff just makes sonic. You know, where everything is just like, you know, I understand, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's just that, you know, once things get symbolic, you know, they can become something totally else. Like, see, you got the Prince Hall Masons, right? You know, the masonry was the science of building itself. See, in Europe, at one time, you seen only really the castles and the churches was really built with that kind of knowledge. The big stone castles and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some rich people might get something, but generally it was just the kings and the churches. You know, that knowledge in itself was seen as sacred. You know, everybody didn't have the knowledge to build, and everybody didn't have the tools to build. You see, by the time it gets to Prince Hall, yeah, they walking around with a hammer. They got the square and the compass, but they're not using that to make no buildings. It's all just ritual now. So, you know, the whole symbolic thing, like I said, is you know, just as the word itself, it doesn't, you know, it's not wrong. But when you say the black man is not knowledge, right? He's only symbolic to knowledge. Now you're saying something a little bit different than what I learned. See, when you say who is the 5%, right? Look, there's a whole bunch of people that's, you know, they got a line in there that describes them. But see, only a certain person, right, can actually be the God that they're teaching about. Can actually internalize that, right, and then express it out here in the world. Right, symbols can be left to interpretation. You know, a lot of things, it just is what it is. Like, if you got a car, the car doesn't symbolize transportation. I mean, you could say that, but the car is, it is your transportation. It's the manifestation of transportation in your psyche. Shalom, what's the deal? What I'm saying is that we're symbolic to knowledge. I'm saying we came before knowledge, so it's an expression of myself. That's what I mean by knowledge is symbolic to me. Like the flag is symbolic to me. Now I see we all the stuff that came together. See, like you said with the flag, see the flag has a birthday. That's the symbol. But all of the stuff that's here from the origin of time, we not symbols. So like I said, it may seem like semantics, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, being symbolic to something, right? And being the expression of a principle is two different things. Like, see, when you have these different European countries, right? And they apologize for their participation in slavery, right? You know what I'm saying? That's symbolic. They ain't about to give you no money back. Oh man, you getting hit hard, man. Old guy returned, Flint, Michigan. And my daughter, that's she went to college out there at Michigan State. That's where she got her associates and her bachelor's, and then she got her master's over here at NYU. But yeah, Shalal, man, you can. Whew. You gonna be at the August rally? Yeah, so you know, and just also what I'm saying is that so you know, uh you know, as you applying the principles, right? Let's say you apply and here's another thing too. When you get into that symbolic stuff, right? See, every man is not knowledge. Every woman is not wisdom. And unfortunately, every child is not understanding. You see, if you're only dealing with symbolism, right? See, every word you speak is not wisdom. But if you was talking symbolically, that's wisdom. So when you just saying symbolically, there's nothing that this man is doing, right? There's nothing that this man is the expression of. See, because for instance, when they say that the presence of the father in the home makes a difference, they're not just talking about the skin and bones. There's a principle that he represents in the family. Claudette Colvin, that's the lady from the bus in Alabama, who first they told her to get out her seat before Rosa Parks. There's a certain essence of all of our beings that's not. Remember, Martin Luther King had a speech where he said that a person is worth like $22. Like he went down the list. He was like, you know, a person got enough gold, you know, all the different elements that people have in them. Say people got enough gold in them that'll be equal to this much. They got enough silver in them, enough nickel in them, et cetera. He went all the way down. And it's something like $22. But that's not the measure. That's what he was saying. That was his point, is that that's not the measure of a man. That's a whole idea and principle that is embodied in that person. And if they don't embody it, then they not the knowledge. But see, if you just seeing everything as symbolic, then yeah, it gets to be like that because you never have to show and prove if everything is just symbolic. You know, people have lost their lives. That's not symbolic, guys. When we say Allah manifested his power, see, we exist right here, right now, real people that have weight and take up space because that was not symbolic. So, you know, we dealt with those two things, and we dealt with the science of living mathematics, you know, and mathematical principles. You know, it's just in general, you know, now the topic came up, you know, was wisdom secondary but necessary? And people was going through that, right? Now, here's the first thing. First of all, see, there's a lot of things that happen very early in the knowledge. And so it's spread far and wide. But in all reality, all that talk about secondary but necessary, that's somebody else's understanding. Somebody wrote that down one day, started giving it out, And then a whole bunch of people started saying it and they kept traveling, but that's somebody else's understanding. So to sit there and argue about it, you know, without just first of all saying that, without realizing that you're acting as if this is the concrete science of wisdom, and it's not. That's something that somebody drew up. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that this is not the foundation of our mathematics. So you got that aspect to see, you know, we was building earlier, that you have mathematical principles, right? You get the 10 principles from knowledge to born and sight, right? And we learn about that principle that, you know, it goes, free mathematics goes from knowledge to born, and that forms a cipher, right? You got those 10 principles. You see, in living mathematics, it's not 10 different things. It's one thing. So if you got one thing, nothing can be second or third or fourth or fifth. Because in living mathematics, when your knowledge adds that cipher, the cipher is one thing. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that you don't know when the cipher begins and when it ends, but you telling me what's first and second. See, that's one of the most obvious and first differences that you see, is that in living mathematics, there's no cipher. Because cipher is a person, place, a thing. And you can't have a person, place, a thing before you have knowledge. So when knowledge goes to born, then that knowledge adds a cipher. See, in the mathematic principle, we say it goes from knowledge to born, right? And then back to knowledge. There's no going back, bro. Yakub sent people back. It goes from knowledge to born, and then your knowledge adds a cipher, and then it goes to knowledge. And see, that's all one thing. You can't, it's no part of that you can take out. If you can't be a little bit less life, you can express a little bit less life, you could be less lively. Wu-Tang. Yeah, Wu-Tang, man, fucked a lot of people up. You know what I'm saying? But you know, those was the basic topics that we dealt with, you know, and then we got into, you know, a couple other stories here. You know, I didn't even know about the brawl. I gotta go home and find some more angles. You know, what I need to do, I need to pull this up on the TV. I need, I need to pull this video up on the big screen. So I can really get it, you know what I mean? I'm just waiting for somebody to tell me they know somebody that was there. I guarantee you I'm running to somebody and say, no, that was my cousin. But so yeah, you know, we covered those topics today. You know, tomorrow we got some other, you know, I call them lukewarm topics. Would you say you're gonna add what to the channel? the urban Sufi. That's quite a title. That's quite a title right there. Depp said how I sees today's mathematics. You asking me how you see it? Yeah, that was definitely it. They looked the chair, definitely. That was the peak. See, 29,141 feet high, right? That's the highest point when Homeboy went to work with the chair. That was the 29,141 feet of that event right there. That was the height of that event. Absolutely. See, our people showed that listen, that we are not all different. we was not all different on that thing. And they were the practitioners of Elijah's teachings. And listen, that's the shit Allah said, look, that they won't do that no more. Oh man. But like I said, tomorrow, we'll have some more lukewarm topics to discuss. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna go into some things just in terms of, culture, you know what I mean? And culture develops. You know what I'm saying? But some of the differences that I see, just in the culture of what we do, and just how it's changed over time. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, one of the things, in terms of building, you know what I'm saying? For me, the biggest thing is disciples. That's one of the biggest elements of, see, because first of all, that's where, we started back then. So for that to they still exist. You see them on the Law School of Mecca channel, you know what I'm saying? The Sean Proof, whatever. But I'm just talking about the day in, day out of it. Where you really get a chance to internalize this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like you really, decipher is, your first foray into living it out. Like you say you God, and you got to show up here and know what you say you know. You know what I'm saying? That type of, training, that type of unity, those things is built, that was a bonding exercise. You know what I'm saying? It was, just it was a respect level. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I guess, I don't know, it's like a dislike level. You know what I'm saying? But at one time, there's a respect level that, this brother, like we disagreeing, but, he got science. Like he's my equal. We going, you know what I'm saying? We bringing out our facts. We sourcing up. So, you know, those are the best brothers that I know now. You know what I'm saying? You know, people I talk to for a whole bunch of hours, we agree on everything. I don't really know you like. That's the people that be coming back. You remember that conversation we had? Nah, because you agree with everything I said. Now, we got into some science where, not even say we disagree, right? But you said something that I never heard before. Then when I asked you to show and prove it, you went into the science. See, now when you went through that science, see, now I feel safe. See, after you told me that, so I can't, you just tell me some shit. I can't say that to the Encyclopedia, bro. He's gonna pull out his phone and say, "God, you say something like that, man." And then I got all these facts right here to show and prove that shit ain't right. I said, you got to give me some facts. So now I can tell, no, wait a minute now. Encyclopedia Brown, what about these? And then we both will learn something in that conversation like that. That was, you know, that was the common, you know, way, you know, but now it's more like, you know, I don't want to, you know, there's a brother around, that's it. He comes around and look, I haven't this, I mean, we're grown now, bro. He comes around school, right? And listen, word to everybody that's out there, bro, you got cell phones. I'll make it easy for you. You got cell phones. Do not come to a law school in Mecca and don't know the day's mathematics. I'm working now. First of all, you know, I'm doing something. See, you know, said, she said to me, I don't even know. So I asked him, how see today's mathematics? He says, what's today's date? Mind you, we sitting in front of the school where the lesson is on the board. Well, no, he's sitting there. I just walked in. So it's already like, so whatever happens, you know, he finally tells me sides. So, you know, he's got this whole story, you know, he's renewing his history. So, you know, the first day we building and, you know, he starts telling me about how I gotta understand, you know, all this like, bro, what are you talking about? So then he's like, yo, well, you know, I just drove mad hours from down south somewhere, you know, I'm tired, right? So I said, all right, peace, man. Let me know when you're ready to build. Then he starts trying to explain some other shit to me. I'm like, bro, you just said you're tired. You understand what I mean? You just, you know, when you're ready to build, then let's build. A couple of days pass, right? I see him again. So now, you know, I see him again. Like I today's mathematics. So today, he knows today's mathematics, but I can't recall what because see, a lot of things I don't have time to keep certain things in my head. You know what I mean? But you know, I was basically explaining the science of mathematics to him. That see, the reason why we deal with today's mathematics is because that's the science that we all dealing with. See, everybody don't got the same amount of kids. Everybody ain't the same height. Everybody ain't had the knowledge the same amount of time. Everybody ain't researched the same amount of knowledge. You see, the science of today, we all dealing with that. We not all the same age. We don't know the same lessons. so that we can be in tune on a universal level. See, the day you was born, that's your mathematics. Every single day. See, the age that you is, that's your mathematics. See, because those are your ciphers. That's when you came a part of this cipher right here. So that's always going to be your mathematics, that day when you came a part of the cipher. See, your age this year, that's a part of your mathematics. See what I'm saying? Because you can study today's degree, but the way you saw today's degree when you were 16, it's not going to be the way you saw it when you was 26 or 36. So all those mathematics apply, but we come in tune and say how you see today's mathematics, right? So now we start from there, and now you, when you building, that's what your mathematics is the stuff that you're going through, right? This is the stuff that you experiencing. So now you bringing that out as you expressing today's mathematics. I'm bringing out the science of my mathematics when I'm expressing, and see, this is now we getting to know each other. That's why we got to know today's mathematics, man. That's why we ask each other today's mathematics. Are we one? You know, in the midst of me explaining this to him, though, right? Because like that's what I'm saying. Like I asked you some. I'm not asking you to grandstand on you. You know, I'm telling you why I'm asking you. It's not a sign of I'm asking you like I'm quizzing you or nothing like that. But I am seeing if you've qualified yourself or not. So in the midst of me explaining that to him, you know, he thinks he hears his mother calling him. So I told the brother that said, well, tell him don't come back around here no more. Because you just here dealing with the ritual shit. And see the way he made me, you know, what I drew up, especially because he's saying like, yo, he got the knowledge of jail and all that. Like, yeah, so you got the knowledge, you know, wherever you was, you needed to be with a group. See, this is what I'm saying about discipline, right? When it's constantly always saying, yo, the 5% don't got discipline. See, everybody else only got discipline because it's a whip cracking over your ass. You see, when you out here and you can do whatever you want to do, right? You got the choice, right? Do you decide to be civilized, righteousness, deal with the science of everything in life, and love, peace, and happiness? Supreme Man, what's going on with you, Supreme Man? You got everybody. Last time I was looking on Facebook, he's somewhere in Central America. Everybody down there coming up here, you going down there. Shamik J. Sensei gets me every time. I cannot wisdom the math if I don't knowledge it first. How sure you only the true and living some hours a day? Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. It's symbolically got it. So just symbolically, so they don't have to embody none of the stuff that they say. See, that's why all those different people could be in that degree as a 5%, because it didn't say in there that you're God. Not like it does in the knowledge degree in the 110. So you can infer that over in your mind, but it says the 5% teaches about that person. Now, are you the person that you're teaching about? And you know what else is getting me to? The amount of times that you hear, you know, I had these situations where a person talked to me for like 10 minutes. And then when I asked them a question, right, they, you know, well, where's all this come from? I don't know. And I always wondered, how did you get to the point of talking if you don't know? Like, what are we talking about? What did you waste my time for talking to me and you don't know what you're talking about? Like, I should do that with my children. Like, my children come up to me and they, you know, when they babies and they babble, I don't know what they talking about, and they don't know what they talking about either. But see, with them, that's different. I play it off, act like I know what they talking. Yeah, I be talking back. But with grown people out in the street, you say you got, like, I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't know either. So, you know, that is a little application of mathematics right there. You know, on that note, I think that's a pretty decent place to end it off right there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with a couple more lukewarm topics. You know what I'm saying? And you know, in the meantime, in between time, we're gonna sign off and say peace.